the e-com, right? You were
Yeah.
doing a little e-com. Was that still eBay? Because you kind of
Yeah, so when I started, it was eBay.
yeah.
When I first started, it was eBay, and what got me into it is I knew you could make money with this concept of drop shipping,
Yeah.
but I didn't know how to do it. A friend of mine introduced me to this guy Jeff that was releasing an eBay course on drop shipping. So I bought it. It was like $1,200 that I didn't have. I put it on a credit card,
Yeah.
and I just started following the system. And back then, his course was a couple of videos in a Dropbox folder. It was not like what a course is today.
Like how it is today.
Yeah. And so I just took the info seriously. I ran with it. I took the knowledge I already had about eBay, and I did really well with it. And started building a little community of other people that were doing it. And the guy Jeff, he's now my business partner. Like
Nice.
when I moved to LA, we linked up, we hit it off, and we've been business partners for 4 or 5 years now.
Dude, that's
So,
awesome.
yeah, it's been really cool. I'm actually headed over there after this.
So let me ask you something, because I know definitely there's a lot of e-com gurus out there, right? There's a lot of courses out there. What kind of made you take that leap of faith of, because it is a lot of money too, well, I guess depending on who it is, and you get what you pay for, right? I guess you could agree with that.
Sometimes, yeah.
So I mean, what made you take the leap of faith with that, and what's kind of your tip, I guess, for other people who are like looking to tap into that space? Because I am.
Yeah.
But there's just so many different options, different companies out
Yeah,
there.
so back then, we're talking like 5 years ago, this like course entrepreneur space, I wouldn't say it is like everyone and their mom trying to do it like it is today.
Yeah.
Where, they had one successful run and they're trying to sell a course on it and they were never able to duplicate that same result. Back then I had a personal connection. A really good friend of mine was friends with Jeff. That's how I got the intro.
Got it.
So
There was like a bridge.
I had that trust triangle going on of I trust you. You're supposed to be the expert. Okay, I'm going to do this type of thing.
Yeah.
Because without that, I don't know if I would have paid $1,200.
Yeah.
So did that, had success, and we've been running and teaching people all over the world for the last 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah. How has that kind of community and maybe the business evolved? Kind of like a strong question there, but
Yeah, so it's changed a lot. Like obviously, like eBay used to be like where we were making money. eBay changed up some things and made the drop shipping concept really hard.
Got it.
Because the cool part about the drop shipping concept, is it the most profitable version of e-commerce? Absolutely not. It has the smallest margins out of any
Makes
e-commerce,
sense.
but it allows anybody to start because it doesn't require really any capital. You're making the sale before you're buying the inventory.
and the less margins because of the fulfillment.
Yeah, you have
aspect of it.
fees, different things,
Got it.
and because you're buying generally from like another retailer, not from like a wholesaler distribution center. So the margins are smaller, but $1 a day, 100 times a day is still $100. Is still $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
So that's how we were like looking at it back then. And then we transitioned over into Amazon, which has been really good. We've been doing great there. We've done in-person trainings. We've done online live trainings. We've done pre-recorded courses. We've done every different thing. And what we've realized at the end of the day, there's going to be 3 types of people. There's going to be the person that buys it and literally never does anything.
Of course, like anything else.
There's going to be the person that buys it and tries it for a month and doesn't see the results that they had in their head, and they're going to quit. And there's going to be the person that really takes off with it, and they're going to do well. They're going to expand on the knowledge. They're going to end up learning things that I might not even know eventually, but thinking outside of the box in their own unique way. And those are the people going to be the people that really go and crush it. And that's just how it is every time.
What was the reason? You kind of touched on it a little bit. What was the reason from transitioning from eBay to Amazon? Obviously, Amazon just blew the fuck up, I would imagine.
Yeah. So eBay changed some rules where basically if you were drop shipping on the platform, you weren't ranked as high. It was harder. We were drop shipping a lot from Amazon to eBay.
Oh,
so buying shit on, listing stuff on eBay that was for sale on Amazon and sending it. And as Amazon also started to do a lot of their own shipping, at least at that time, Amazon tracking numbers wouldn't count on eBay.
Oh, got it.
So it would crush your metrics.
Because it has their own tracking system?
Yeah,
Okay,
they had their
got
own
it.
tracking system that eBay wasn't recognizing. So it would be as if I never shipped the item or I didn't ship it on time. So it would end up hurting your account, which means less showings, less viewings, less rankings, all of that. So that was a big part of finding a new platform to sell on.
What's probably like, I guess, the weak point in regards to when it comes to drop shipping? 'Cause I understand, right? There's a gap there between like actually the customer experience, right? Because you're not controlling, it's being fulfilled by someone else. So is there like a sense of lack of control from that person or from that company that's fulfilling at all?
Not really. We use like, big suppliers, like people that follow me, they know, like we use places like Walmart and Overstock and maybe Sam's Club, Costco on occasion to fill an order. So we're using companies that are really big that like are on top of their shit. We're not, it's not people you've never heard of. So usually that part's not too bad.
So there's credibility and the reputation's good.
The problem that comes in, like the little issues, is just the fact, like, the margins are slimmer because we're selling from retailer to retailer, right? Mm-hmm. So like, they have their stuff marked up to where they want it to be and it's over here, but people like to buy where they want to buy. Mm-hmm. So people always ask me like, Nick, why would someone pay more on Amazon if it's $10 on Walmart? Why would they pay 20 on Amazon? Because they want to buy from Amazon. Yeah. People that buy from Amazon are going to buy on Amazon. They're not going to go price check Walmart. Yeah. Right. So that's kind of how that works. And we'll also get people like, oh yeah, but don't people think it's weird when a Walmart box shows up to their house? Literally at hundreds of thousands of orders and students and all that, I can probably count on my hands and toes how many complaints we've had.
Really?
Yeah.
So people are like, what the heck? I thought I ordered from Amazon.
Yeah, it's like, this is so weird. My Amazon package showed up in a Walmart box, but whatever. Yeah. Like, it's very rare that we get a complaint, but, that's whatever. Interesting. Because that was my question at first, too. I was like, people are going to order on eBay and they're going to get an Amazon box. Yeah. And like, what the heck? When I first got started, and then I realized it really wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah. What's the, I kind of feel like e-com, that space, especially the experts in the industry, don't get the credit they deserve. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like people don't understand like what the type of work you guys do, because it's not just like you set up a freaking store and then that's it. You guys are doing so many different things on the back end to make sure this store is efficient, it's operational, it's meeting like all the guidelines in regards to Amazon. Why do you think a lot of people kind of have that? Have what? That perspective, like, you know what I mean? Like oh, these guys, because it's automated.
No, there's strategy that goes behind us, because one of our businesses is actually building and running stores for people. That's like what you were asking about a couple days ago. Yeah. So that is like a full system that has strategies behind it and tons of employees and systems and softwares and all these things. And I feel like just like most things, like Instagram is most people's highlight reel, right? It's not like their real day to day. I'm guilty of it. Like, who wants to watch me sit in front of a computer for 10 hours a day? Like, cool. Like, it's not cool, right? They want to see a picture of my Lamborghini, like, So that part is where it comes in, that it's always constantly testing. Amazon's a little bit different because like we're on a platform that already has customers, and as long as we can get that item in front of those customers, like, they're going to buy it. You see a lot of people that are building their own websites, like on Shopify and these different places. Well, you're a brand new website. Mm-hmm. If your ads don't perform, no one even knows you exist. Yeah. The reason we like Amazon is because we got millions of customers, and as long as we put items in front of their face that they buy, they're gonna buy it.
So platform's already there. Is what you're saying. Yeah.
And I do multiple versions of Amazon. So drop shipping is kind of what we teach. It's one of the things we build stores for people. But there's two other ways to sell on Amazon. There's FBA, and there's like two versions. Wholesale, where we're buying, like, say we're gonna buy these Path water bottles right here. We sell them by the case, right? I get a deal with the manufacturer, and I put them on there, and I jump on the listing, and I sell Path water bottles. Mm-hmm. Or I come up with my own brand. Like, I have a brand that's on there and I sell my own stuff. And now when you get into that part, you're selling stuff that people don't know about already. Mm-hmm. So that's when it really comes into SEOing, ads, all of that, even on the Amazon platform itself.
Interesting. Yeah. So are you, is that kind of like the main difference in regards to Shopify versus Amazon, is the actual platform, people already there in the traffic, but also the SEO part and all the other stuff?
Yeah, they trust it. They're already there. So if you're selling name brand products via drop shipping or wholesale, like, you pretty much, as long as you bought at the right price where you have margin to make money, like you're pretty much guaranteed to make money.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to develop your own brand on Amazon, that's where you really need to know what you're doing. Like you really have to know how it works with building the listings, keywording, building the titles, the right photos, like what really makes people tick to buy your item that has 5 reviews and this item that has 5,000 reviews.
Yeah.
And how do you get to the top of the page?
Yeah.
Because if you're on page 2, just like in Google, no one ever clicks page 2.
Mm-hmm. So is it more presentation as far as having the competitive edge in regards to those listings? Because like, let's just say like, what would make someone buy that one? It's the same product, but this one has like maybe 10 reviews and then the other one has 1,000.
Yeah, so it'll come down to like quality. So like, you know, a lot of people want organic, non-GMO, like those types of things that are features that maybe they don't have. A good tip, I think I even said this on the Level Up call, was look at the review. If you want to launch a product, like your own product, look at the negative reviews of the similar products. Because by doing that, you can see what people complain about and you can fix it and make your product better.
Mm-hmm. Dude, when does how big is digital psychology come into the e-commerce space? And, you know, in regards to Shopify versus Amazon, does the digital psychology kind of play different in regards to those two different platforms?
Well, you have to think, if somebody's on Amazon, they already trust the platform. They probably got a Prime membership. They're used to getting their items in 2 days. They know that Amazon has this crazy customer support. You can pretty much bitch about anything on Amazon and they'll fix it. They'll give you a refund, whatever, right?
Yeah.
On Shopify, it's an unknown. They clicked on an ad. They went to this website. They, depending on how well your website's designed, may give off a feel that it's trustworthy, or it may give off a feel that like somebody just made this an hour ago. You know, depending on if you have really good FAQs or terms of service and whatnot, and if you have your shipping details there. Because what a lot of people that are doing Shopify are doing, if they don't have their own product that they're selling, they're drop shipping from China. So we're talking 2-3 week delivery times, at least.
Yeah.
So that's where people can get in the hot water when they're doing the Shopify side. Not only is it a website that's not trusted per se, if the ads don't work, you have no customers. And then if you don't have it set up and have proper expectations on your website, talking about a lot of refunds, a lot of cancellations, chargebacks, merchant accounts getting shut down, all these other problems that play into it.
2 more things about e-com, I promise.
Okay.
I know you're just like me. When I get on when I'm a guest on a podcast, when people start just asking me about podcasts, I'm like, oh yeah, you know. But then when they start asking me about some other crazy shit, that's when it gets freaking interesting. But anyway, okay, for the people who just want to start, you know, getting into e-com, right? Because let's just be real, we're going through a pandemic right now, right? I think I just saw an article where they're not even gonna have Black Fridays like in person no more. I think some stores are actually not even gonna allow like in-store shopping just because of the pandemic, right? I think one of them was Walmart, I think. Don't quote me, but I think that's what I saw. But let's just say that happens, right? Again, for those who are wanting to get into, you know, e-com, what are some tips like automatically you would tell them to, you know, to expect and go from there?
So if you're on a wholesale aspect, it's all about buying, right? Just like when you buy a house or anything, it's all about like getting the right price up front. Because if you get a bad price, then your ability to maneuver and get out of that deal and to move your money is harder.
Yeah.
So it's getting the right price. From a drop shipping standpoint, you can't really mess it up.
Yeah.
Someone's buying it before you've even bought it. So where you can get screwed there if you're not fast and you're just starting and you don't have a team is the fact that the delay time between the customer buying it, you knowing that it was in stock, in the time you placed the order, did it go out of stock if it's a hot product? So let's just say these bottles are in stock on Walmart for $5.
Yeah.
We're selling them on Amazon for $20, and we check twice a day or something to make sure they're still in stock. And then they place an order at nighttime. In the morning, we wake up and they're out of stock. I got to see if I can find another supplier that can fill the order.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to have to cancel or refund it, which then is going to hurt the metrics of my account.
Wow. Okay.
So those are the little details that can get you in hot water. But as far as like just getting started, if you don't have a lot of capital, drop shipping. Because you don't really need a ton. And because you're buying from another retailer, you can use a credit card to kind of like use as capital. Where in the wholesale world, in the private label world, or in making your own products, like it's wires, it's cash. You know, you need that liquidity in order to make those businesses happen.
Got it. And again, in regards to you, and maybe it doesn't even have to apply to e-com, but in regards to you, let's get back to you. What are some daily habits that you think that have propelled you to become successful in the e-com space? Is it like maybe your organization skills? Maybe it's just prioritizing, timing? What do you think has helped you?
So one of my biggest blessings or skills, if you even want to call it that, is the fact that I'm able to stay very neutral, whether a situation is really great.
I remember you mentioned
really
that.
shitty.
It's like a talent of yours. Like you almost
like right now, like I told you when I walked in the house, like we just put an app in on a new house and everything. My wife is like off her mind. In my head, I'm just like, cool. Like until all the signatures are done, everything's 100%. Like I'm like this. If it doesn't go through, I'll still be like this.
Yeah.
If it goes through, I'll get a little bump of excitement for a little while. I'll be stoked, and I'll be right back. I stay like really neutral. I don't allow myself to get overly stressed over the problems, because that doesn't help. When problems happen, a store gets suspended for some reason, or a store gets shut down for a reason, like most people, it like ruins their whole psyche, and they don't know what to do, and they freak out. And for me, it's like, okay, it happened. Now how do we fix it?
Yeah.
And I would probably attest that back to just my dad's like that.
Yeah.
You know, running these big construction projects. He's like a really amazing problem solver. And also in the military as a medic, like shit goes down, you got to be cool, calm, collective, and just get to work to save people's lives. So
I was just gonna say, yeah, was that something you kind of built?
You know this, you're a nurse, dude.
I know.
Like
I'm actually surprised you're a med. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, as you know, like we can, you know, you don't see a patient come, you know, maybe a fresh doctor or something, but you don't see patient. That's why they go through so much training. Yeah. So patient comes in, they're bleeding, and all this other stuff's happening, and it's just muscle memory. We just go to work, we get shit done. That's it.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Is there anything that you feel you could improve on as a person? Because it's almost like, again, you're this independent guy. You've had your own taste of success, right? You have this talent of being neutral, not being emotional resilient, right? I guess you could call it just, you know, being a solution finder, right?
Yeah.
Is there something that you feel that you could, like, you try to work on, or maybe something that self-sabotages you? Because there's a lot of people out there, especially in business, right? They almost self-sabotage themselves. They have this limiting belief, you know, and I think everyone goes through that. Do you have something that you think that you?
Yeah, for me, it's probably being in the moment.
Okay.
My mind.
Trying to get vulnerable over here.
Yeah. No. Like, and I'm working on it. I've done a couple of things to try to like work on that.
Yeah.
But my mind never wants to stop. Like even while we're having this conversation right now, I'm like, oh, this needs to get done today. This needs to get done today. And you know, so my trying to just be in that moment, especially with my family, like that's the hardest, because I feel like I'm not being productive even though I am in the relationships.
Yeah.
And like my wife's like love language is quality time, so it's like literally time not doing anything else, and it is so hard for me to like literally like shut off everything else, put my phone aside, all of that, and literally just like focus on her for a period of time. But that's something I really like been trying to work on more.
Do you know, I sense from you, and I kind of know this now that I've been working with you a little bit, dude, you're a believer in people. You know what I mean? I feel like you're a believer in people, and it's about investing in people and doing the right thing. How important is that as just with society, with everything that's happening right now? How important is that to just have a belief in people and having that courtesy and respect for other people, and also in business? I mean, it seems like it's been so important in your life.
Yeah, it's huge, because at the end of the day, like, we want to have those relationships. We want people to know that we have their best interests. Like, I'll talk to people all the time, like people that want to like work with me because they just assume everything e-commerce related that I'm like the expert in. And I'm like, I probably know more than you about that topic, but I'm not the guy that's like the subject matter expert on that particular thing. Like, if I know the person, here's the person you want to talk to. If I don't, I just tell you that I don't.
Yeah.
Just like in the finance stuff that we're working on, that we've been working on together. Like when I talk to clients, like I really want to do what's best for them.
Yeah.
I don't even know what my compensation is unless somebody asks or when my assistant inputs it into the computer.
Yeah.
Then I'll know. But throughout the whole conversation, it never once crosses my mind of what that's going to be.
And what was the reason? Because let's just be real. I feel like you had a taste of success already, and then you have your goals, right? I'm sure you want to keep leveling up. You had your number, right? What's your number again?
Yeah. My joke with Ed is if he can make 500 million, I can make 50 for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But 50's like kind of been the number in the back of my head for a long time.
Yeah, yeah. So I think it's pretty achievable, right, for what you do right now in e-com space, right? So what got you into financial services?
Longevity. Obviously, e-commerce isn't going away.
Yeah.
But different things like right now, my expertise is Amazon in the e-commerce world. But I'm still, at the end of the day, for lack of a better word, we're Amazon's bitch.
Yeah.
Amazon changes the rule. We gotta adjust to the rule.
Yeah.
We have to move. We have to adapt to these changes, which we're good at adapting. But sometimes these changes cost us a lot of money. COVID, they blocked a ton of new inventory coming in. They kicked out some of our products. Like, as much as certain parts of e-commerce have been doing really well for me during COVID, some other spots have been screwed. So, and we don't own the platform.
Yeah.
We're at the mercy of what they do because we're on their platform. So, in the financial services world, these are some of the largest companies in the entire world that have been around for forever, through the Great Depression, through all the recessions, and they still thrive through all of these times. So, I was literally reading a book this morning, and where do banks have their tier one assets, especially during hard times, is in life insurance. So banks, Chase, Bank of America, they're like solvitude, I think that's the right word. Solvency is in life insurance for the banks. So if they're that confident in the life insurance companies and in that business, in that world, that's something I want to be a part of.
Yeah.
And I've seen it. I've seen what it does for families.
Yeah.
I've seen what the educational standpoint on finances does for families. And I think it's an amazing business model that is very profitable too. So
yeah, it's like we know that financial illiteracy is the number one economic crisis in the world. But when you look at the actual number one industry in the world, it's financial services or the financial industry, which actually is more than if you were to combine retail and real estate.
Yeah, well, and we also take a different approach. We take this educational approach where I know when I talk to a client that whether they buy something or not, they're going to leave the conversations I have with them better off than when they got on. So at the end of the day, I want to talk to everybody that's willing to listen, because if they're willing to listen, they may change one habit in their life, even if they don't do business with me. And I look at this as my way of also giving back, because I've always been passionate about finance, and this is just a way for me to do that. And yeah, in some situations I get a check, but at the end of the day, it's really about helping people.
Yeah. The money's the byproduct of something that you're doing.
Exactly. I know I'm going to make a shit ton of money. That's not the thing. But I know, you want to know how I know that I will? Because I'm going to impact a ton of families.
Yeah. I'm
going to help a ton of people. And along the way, I'm going to make a lot of money doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. The financial industry is very, very interesting. I'm glad for me and you to be a part of that. I think one thing with the financial services thing that I think we're starting to realize is that there is just a lack of huge awareness, and we focus so much on education. I mean, crying out loud, you have it on your freaking hat.
Yeah, I just got this thing made, says make life insurance great again.
Yeah, and I think one thing I want to highlight that you brought up, and I think everyone needs to listen, is that Nick, even though he's found a lot of success in e-com, the fact that he understands that, even though Amazon's like huge right now, you're still on their platform, and who knows, they could go out of business and everything could go to hell.
They're definitely not going out of business, but they're a bully.
Yeah.
Amazon has all that data, and they keep all the data. That's
wild.
one of the downsides of selling on Amazon, even though I love Amazon and that's where my bread and butter is. If you had your own Shopify store and you were selling there and building your own website with your own products, you collect all the data. You got their emails, you got their phone numbers, you got their names, you got all this stuff. Amazon, everything's encrypted. I only know their name.
Yeah.
Which I don't see their address. I don't see their phone number. I don't see their email. So I have no data on that person. Amazon owns that data. Also, Amazon is famous for, on the wholesale side with big brands, if they see something doing well, they got more buying power than I do. They'll just go buy it at a better price, and then we can't touch them.
Yeah.
And then now you get to sit on, pallets and pallets or truckloads of inventory for 6 months till they go out of stock, and then hopefully you get to sell some before they get another load.
Yeah.
Or if you have a product that's selling really well, they'll make their own version. Mm-hmm. Like Amazon Basics, if you've seen on Amazon,
yeah.
That's basically products they saw doing really well, and they just made their own version.
Yeah.
And now and of course, who do you think is going to rank the highest on the page for batteries or chargers or whatever it is? It's going to be them. It's their platform.
It's like fucking Kirkland's signature with Costco, right? Like
yeah.
they just brand their stuff.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, damn,
They're like, oh, this sells the most, this laundry detergent, so let's just make one of those.
Yeah. Dude, so people like me and you, like I guess we could agree on this, that we love to adapt, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're that type of people. We adapt. That's based off our background, the way we were raised, and also we like to evolve. For people who kind of don't have that mentality, what are some tips you could give them in regards to how to always, be aware, to adjust, to when the unexpected comes, how you should be thinking moving forward?
Yeah, so, and don't get me wrong, like I find myself doing this, one of my skills though is able to realize I'm doing it and fix it quickly is when a problem happens, talking about the problem. Like, it's like, oh, we spilt this bottle of water on the floor. If I pour it out right here, the problem is the floor's wet.
Yeah.
And I just keep saying, hey, the floor's wet, the floor's wet. No, yeah, but the solution is to go get the damn paper towels, clean it up, right? Same. So when people have problems in their business or whatever, they look at the problem of like, oh, my Facebook ad didn't work, right? It didn't work. That's the problem. But how do we fix it? What about it didn't work? What can we improve on? And just like focusing on finding the solution, and it may not always be perfect, because sometimes people like try to have the perfect solution and then they end up not doing it, or then they take action too late. Yeah. So taking sometimes imperfect action to have a solution is better than nothing. And just realizing that you're doing that, I think, is one of the biggest things. Because, like, don't get me wrong, I find myself doing it sometimes as well. And it's just realizing, like, hey, just did that. Let's get out of that mental state. Let's get into a positive mental state and start working on the solution instead of bitching about the problem.
So it sounds like it needs to be immediate, but also it can be imperfect action. Immediate imperfect action, it sounds like.
Well, especially getting out of that headspace.
Yeah.
Because, like, if we're just focusing, like, all right, the water's still on the floor, like, we're not doing anything, right?
Yeah.
So.
Awesome, man. Well, dude, we're about to wrap up here. Me and Nick actually got to go grab lunch and meet someone. But I think the last thing I want to ask you, Nick, again, I always feel like you're always improving. You're always adapting. You also seem to always be learning. So 2 things. What are some things that you're doing to always stay ahead of the curve? What are, like, maybe some books? Is it podcasts? What are you doing to always stay learning? And then the last question is, where do you see yourself in, like, 20 years? All
right. So my learning probably comes more from, like, trying to build new relationships with people that are at a higher level than me. I do read. I do listen to some podcasts and stuff occasionally. Probably could do that more. I spend a lot of time doing research in my industry in making my systems better. Like, for instance, even for, like, my automation clients right now where we build their stores, I'm working on things that we don't even technically include that make the system better, helping them have, like, a go-to accountant, a go-to sales tax person, a go-to lawyer to set up their entities and whatnot. So when they come to us, even though they're not necessarily getting it through us, they have all the pieces they need to make their system flow.
Like, you have the resources are already there.
Exactly, because then it makes my life easier. It makes their life easier. It makes the customer experience better.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's been really important. I've been spending a lot of time doing that the last couple of weeks. And as far as 20 years, 20 years, that's a big one to think about.
20 years.
So definitely see having a family, couple of kids. I'll have 2 places. I want to have a big ass ranch in Texas eventually. Probably still have a place out in California, and maybe closer to the beach next time. And just living a good life. Like I've lived a really good life. Maybe I have spent too much money on certain occasions that I probably shouldn't have. But
I've seen it.
COVID's definitely made me think about things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Because you've just been stuck at home. Made me really reevaluate some things. And I just want to enjoy. One of the things I always talk about is for my kids, I don't want them to read about the Eiffel Tower in a history book and whatnot. I'm going to take them there and show them it.
I love that.
I want to, we want to go read about like the original colonies and this and that. We're going to go up to Massachusetts and like go see this stuff. Like, I don't want them to learn everything from a book. I want them to go experience it and see the world and see all these things that their friends are going to learn about in history books and throughout school. Like, I want them to experience it. That's like one of my big things.
Mm-hmm. Dude, you spoke about that too. You want to be that more in the moment.
Yeah.
What better time to do it when you're going to start a family too, man?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, Nick Fitz, I appreciate you
Awesome,
coming on the
man.
podcast, dude. So anyone that wants to reach out to you, where can they find you? Best place to contact you.
Best place would be Instagram at Nick Fitz, just NickFitz. I mean, I do have a Facebook and a YouTube, but hopefully I post more on YouTube in the near future. I get asked a lot, but I haven't made that a priority, but Instagram for sure.
Okay. And then if anyone wants to get in touch with you in regards to e-com with financial services, also where can they get that?
Instagram still is really well. We're making some adjustments to our coaching website right now, so I'm not exactly sure what the link will be when we're done, so don't want to send you in the wrong direction, but generally there's a link in my bio for the courses and whatnot, and yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in to the podcast. Listen, if you know this episode can impact someone, do me a favor and share it with them. Also, if you are watching or listening, please be sure to tag me and Nick. Let us know what you think. And last but not least, you got to sign the infamous canvas over here.
All right.
And, hey, make life insurance great again.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Go.
We'll talk to you later.
Thanks,
Peace.
Man.